All right. Hi, everybody. Rob here with our BSP University call for Tuesday, January 24th. So a bunch of people are jumping on. As I was saying, I see Lori's trying to get her audio to work. As I was saying, if you have any questions that you want to ask about the program or about your particular book or about what you're doing, then by all means, go ahead and type them in the chat box now. As you guys know, one thing that I always do is I always do some kind of training for the first 5 or 10 minutes or so. Oftentimes I talk about a client's book or the successes that they've been achieving. As you guys know, I had Joel and Julie on with me last week, and they shared about how they've used Joel's book, Rewired, to do over $200,000 in revenue in a brand new business in just their first year. So they're pretty excited about that. Next week, I have another one of our done-for-you clients that's going to be coming on and sharing about the ways that she's used her book. And then the next week again. So I always teach something or have a done-for-you client on that's doing some really amazing things so you can learn from it. What I'm going to do today is just slightly different. And what I'm going to do today I haven't done before, and that is I am going to actually show you my screen. And we've had a ton of questions in the back office about, all the training that we have and all the content. And what we have had a lot of recently are questions about, hey, Rob, where can I find this? And do I really have to go through, 10 hours of material to find how I get my book formatted or how I create my type contents or whatever? And the short answer is no, you do not. What we've done is we have completely laid out a table of contents for you for every module, as well as a complete overview. And I want to show you that for the next few minutes or so. And then, of course, we're going to open it up to any specific questions that you guys might have regarding the program itself. So I've never shared my screen before, so I have to figure out how to do that. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And do me a favor and type in the question box or the chat box that you guys can see it. You should be on the publishmybestseller.com membership area. So let me know that you guys can see that well. And see, funny thing is I can't go to the chat box when I'm on here. So I'm going to assume that you can see the screen really well because I did it right the first time. And if not, then I'll redo it. Anyway, here is the membership area that all of you have access to of all of our content. Many of you came in strictly for our content about getting your book written, published, launching it to bestseller guaranteed, and then getting, all kinds of great content on how to get publicity like radio, TV, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's all here in the Launch Your Bestseller. That's all of this right here. So what we've done, obviously I have a welcome video from me. What we've also done is we've created this table of contents for each particular module. So module 1 on attraction, rapid results, book mapping, we talk about what is specifically in there as far as the lesson itself. Module 2, Module 3, I'll show you an example. Module 4 is the book launch system. Module 5 is on monetization. Now there's a ton more content in here, which I'm not going to go over, but for the moment, let's just look at one of these modules. So let's say we pick module 3 because you want to know about foolproof publishing, how to actually publish your book yourself, do the formatting, etc. So you go into module 3 and you can see, okay, here's the things we're going to talk about: KDP and CreateSpace account setup, book cover design, how to get book reviews, do a book contest, author groups. And then if you scroll down, you actually see these things are time-stamped. Plus, you can download the whole transcription of the entire training that I did right here. So you can go see and say, okay, KDP and CreateSpace, let's see, I want to know about setting up my KDP account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward to the 8-minute and 45-second mark of this module number 3, and that is going to completely spell out how to do that. Or I'm going to fast forward all the way to the 26-minute of this, and I'm going to learn about how to do it in CreateSpace. If you want to learn about pricing strategies, it's the 33-minute and 53-second mark. If you want to learn about book cover design, and how to get a great book cover, if you want to learn about the book review strategy, etc. And you'll see that there are additional videos that we have set apart that are specifically about things that we've had questions to, whether it's uploading your book to KDP, picking the best category for your book. Plus, we have multiple resources that you can download. So again, what we've done, we haven't changed the content itself, but we've organized it in such a way so that you guys can simply go to the module and say, okay, that's exactly what I need. I need to know about CreateSpace setup. Or let's say regarding the book launch itself, you go to the bestseller book launch system. You can see this is all the content. You go through it and you go, you know what? I want to know about how to create my press release. I want to understand what WebWire is. Okay, that's the 9-minute and 31-second mark. And then from 10-minute 38 and following, you have the press release creation and strategy, and then a press release example and walkthrough, and then reviewing press release results. So that whole 10 minutes all on press releases, or maybe you want to know about advertising your book, you want to know about the software that you have access to, etc. So all of that is right in here, as well as your promotion schedule, setting up your free promotion in KDP, all of that. So we took your questions, we took the things that you were concerned about really seriously, and we literally went through and we organized all of this in such a way that you would be able to, without having to go through hours and hours and hours of content, you can simply go to the breakdown of the video and you can see exactly where everything is. Plus, if you ever lose the link, you can go to the membership area and you can see, okay, Tuesday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, you just click this link and there's the password, and we will change that password periodically. So while I'm on this page, I'm going to take just another couple of minutes and I'm going to share with you a couple of other things that are on this page. I've given you tons of bonus training. So you have all kinds of bonus training on booking yourself on TV, our mass media formula, useful PR resources like your booking script example, 3 reasons to start writing your book. This is an example of a segment proposal. How to set up your simple system for speaking engagements, plus resources like directory of associations for speaking engagements, a media introductory letter, a media contact list, speaker one-sheet PDF, and a speaker intro letter doc. So all of these things we give you access to. So that you know, this is not something that I promise, like when we sell this. We sell this program and then we over deliver. We want to give you more than we even say is in here. And then you'll see, of course, access to additional training on how to create products, how to do Facebook lead generation, how to build out a coaching and consulting program if that's something you want to do, even how to close really high ticket sales, which we're very, very good at. All the BSP University coaching calls are right here. You can get access to all of those. So you can go back and you say, well, I missed the training that Alana did on PR, so I want to go back and watch that. And of course, we have the full recording there. And then last but not least, I do a live $1 Million Author Summit, which the next summit is coming up in March. All of you will be emailed those dates in the next week. We just got our hotel, which is going to be the Westin LAX. And so we'll be emailing that out. It's going to be, in fact, Rebecca just sent it to me. I'll show it to you live. March 10th and 11th at the Westin LAX. That's when our next $1 Million Author Summit is going to be. You all get free tickets to come to that and join me. It'll be 2 days with me alone and members of my staff, with me kind of rolling up my sleeves and helping you guys. Now, if you can't make it to that, don't worry. We have multiple throughout the year. However, let's say you just want to go through the stuff yourself. Well, we've professionally recorded everything from our previous $1 Million Author Summits, and you can go through this stuff yourself as well. So tons and tons of content, everything really organized for you. I haven't gone through this before with everybody, so I wanted to make sure that I went through it with you guys live. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing on my screen, and now you hopefully can see my face again. It's time for us to answer any questions that you might have. So now we've gone through that BSP back office. I'm sure you've gone through it yourself, but I just want you to see what we've changed, what we've upgraded in response to your questions and the areas that you had concerns about, which was just, again, having access right at your fingertips to the content that you want and knowing exactly where everybody is. So Lori is asking, can everyone else hear this? This is excellent. So I hope everyone else can hear this and that you guys have all of that. So now's the time, though, to ask me any questions. You have me, for the next 30 minutes or so, and I'm here to serve you and help in any ways possible for you to use your book, grow your business, attract clients, write your book, launch your book, whatever it is. And by the way, I'm working on some really cool things for BSP University over the next couple of months. And I'll keep talking and sharing if you guys don't have any questions. But one of the cool things I'm working on is, we've created, I think, some really cool content and amazing content. And we're really good at what we're really good at. But look, I know there are people better than us at certain things. So I have actually contacted a couple New York Times best-selling authors who have been featured and had their clients featured on Oprah, The Today Show, various other things, which I think is really, really cool. And I've talked to them about licensing their stuff, actually buying their stuff from them so that you can have access in BSP University, not just to the best stuff we've created, but to what I think is some of the best stuff in our industry when it comes to areas that I'm just not an expert in. So I'll talk to you more about that. Nothing is no cash has exchanged hands and no rights to anything yet. But that is something I'm working on for this next quarter, and I'm pretty excited about it because I really think that I'm going to be able to open up some really cool content that normally you'd have to pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for, but you're going to get it free as a part of BSP University. So, all I got for you today to share other than to answer your questions. So let's see. Alice is asking, if a person can't do speeches or speaking engagements, what other possibilities do you suggest for book promotion? Okay. So great question. So I would recommend, obviously, you going to our book promotion stuff in the BSP University back office so that you can review that. But obviously, when it comes to book promotion, our focus and where we think you get the biggest bang for your buck is digitally. So in the past, even 6, 7, 8 years ago, on further back, people did things, and some people still do this, where they go to Barnes & Noble and they'll do book signings and book tours and things of that nature. And if you've ever done that, then you know what the downside to that is. The downside is that you'll go to a Barnes & Noble and there'll be 3 people there. You've traveled, you've taken hours out of your schedule, you're away from your family, and there are 3 people in a Barnes & Noble for you to sign books or meet. What a waste of time. However, you can get in front of hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands very inexpensively, and in some cases free, digitally. And how do you do that? You do that via social media. You do that via paid advertising. You do that via author groups. You do that via Twitter. Digitally, there's opportunity for you to do that, not just once at one Barnes & Noble with 3 people, but to do that on a continual basis. So Alice, the general way I would answer that is make your focus about, digital media. Make your focus about a digital footprint. Go into the back office, look at our training on how we use digital, how we help our clients, look at the software that we use and that you have access to, and those things will help you to promote your book on an ongoing basis. Now, speaking engagements are fantastic, but they're fantastic for a couple of reasons. You can sell books at speaking engagements, but you can also sell all kinds of stuff at speaking engagements. So I did a speaking engagement in Hawaii just about a month ago, Tough Life, right? I was not paid for that speaking engagement. I had to pay my way to Hawaii. Why would I do that? Really simple. Because at this moment, I've brought on 4 new clients from that one speaking engagement that have paid me on average $11,000. So that speaking engagement right now has earned me $44,000. Was I willing to go to Hawaii for that? Yeah. Now maybe I wouldn't be willing to go to Siberia or something like that, but 44 grand is pretty good for basically a 90-minute speech and some schmoozing time. So if you have something higher ticket to sell, then I would certainly, not shy away from speaking engagements. They're, in my opinion, really fantastic. Now, something else that you can do if you don't want to travel for speaking, Alice, is you can do speaking engagements live, but on the internet. And what do we do? What do we call that? We call those webinars. So tomorrow, for example, I'm doing a webinar. Some of you never met me until you came to one of my webinars. So we advertise and we spend money to get people registered for our webinars and to build my list. And it's not inexpensive, but remember, we're trying to do things on a bigger scale. You don't have to start there. So I'll spend, anywhere from a low of $3,000 to a high of $6,000 or $7,000 in 1 week to get people signed up for a webinar. Again, why do I do that? Because I'm going to do a speaking engagement that's 90 minutes to 2.5 hours long, and I'm going to sell my stuff. I'm going to sell, our done-for-you programs with Bestseller Publishing. I'm going to sell BSP University. I'm going to sell something, and I'm going to make a significant return on my investment. So did I have to travel for that? No, I'm right here in my beautiful office in Pasadena, looking out at the mountains right outside my window. I have my whole staff here, and I'm 1.5 miles from my house and my family when I go home. So best of both worlds for me. Anyway, that may be beyond what you were asking, but I want to share as much as I could about your question. So that's really good. And if you have like a follow-up to that, or if I didn't really hit what you wanted, then please ask again or type in like your follow-up question. So Lori is asking, can you say something about creating YouTube videos? So I can. I think I need to know a little bit more about what you mean by that. But let me, based on the general question, let me share this. So I have a YouTube channel. I don't focus a great deal on getting subscribers to it. But I'm not saying that that's not a good idea. It is a good idea. And if you're in a niche that is really hungry for YouTube, then getting YouTube subscribers is like gold. It's not my focus, but I do have, I don't know, maybe several hundred people that subscribe to my YouTube channels. And I have thousands and thousands of people that have viewed my content on YouTube. Obviously, the whole purpose of putting our content on YouTube, like I'll record, this isn't for YouTube because this is, private just for paying members of BSP University. But when I do a webinar and the webinar is a public webinar, I will put that on YouTube because I want people to continue to find my content and watch my videos and know, like, and trust me, get to know who I am so that they'll be interested in bestseller publishing and the things that we do. So, I don't specifically create content for YouTube. What I do is I record my content and then I share it to YouTube, if that makes sense, Lori. So with that said, YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world behind Google. So really, really important, really, really valuable. I probably should spend more time and energy and resources on, growing our YouTube and doing YouTube advertising. But at the moment, it just isn't like high on our radar. If it's something you're super interested in and something that you think is valuable to your tribe, your followers, people interested in your stuff, then, there's great YouTube content that, like on how to do it and how to get your videos ranked very high and that kind of thing. A good buddy of mine actually does that stuff. John Penberthy is his name. He's in the UK. He's a young guy. He's 23 years old. I met him in a $25,000 a year mastermind. He did a webinar some time ago to my list, maybe a year ago. I'll see if I could find that webinar and share it with everybody because it may be helpful for you. But John, it's Jon Penberthy, which is Penberthy. A really smart young dude. He's made millions of dollars at age 23, all from YouTube. So, take a look at him. Really good stuff. And I'll try to find you the video, Lori. I made a note of it here. All right, John. John, this says private, but I'm going to assume that it was just accidentally made private. Although, let me read through it and make sure that there's nothing private here that you don't want me sharing. Okay. Yeah, I can answer this publicly. Let me read it because, congratulations are in order. So John is saying, I've given a TED Talk that will go live in February. Congratulations. Giving a TED Talk is a big deal, and that is very, very cool. John's question is, how long can I delay? We're doing it all for John. So John's a done-for-you client. He's in the soft launch phase right now. He's asking, how long can I delay the hard launch after the soft launch has started so that I can publicize the TED Talk and get views while the hard launch is still being done? I'm fine if you want to answer publicly. Wasn't sure if a specific question like this is what you wanted. We can speak later. It totally is what I want. Great question, my friend. So just to explain to everybody that, may be newer and may not know the terminology. So the soft launch, as soon as a book is published, the soft launch is the, generally speaking, 2-week period. It can be as long as a month, but generally about a 2 to 4 week period where we're going to get Amazon verified 4 and 5 star reviews for our clients' books. And if you're doing this yourself, then that soft launch period is where you're going to go out to your network, your marketplace, author groups, etc., do review exchanges and get as many Amazon verified 4 and 5 star reviews as you can. The hard launch is the 1 week period where we spend money for paid advertising. We do paid press releases to thousands of media outlets. We do a massive social media campaign to Facebook, Twitter, etc. So here's the thing that I would tell you, John. Don't match your TED Talk with the hard launch. I would recommend if you could, if ultimately you want to drive them back to you, you want to drive them back to your website, you want to engage, let them engage with you. I would say if we can do the hard launch even before your TED Talk is announced, or, you're going to have your TED Talk on your website so we can drive traffic, hopefully your book will drive traffic back to your website where your TED Talk is. When we do your hard launch, we don't need your outside traffic to make the book successful. We're going to do all that for you in your launch. So I would prefer that your TED Talk and any promotion that you do, speaking engagements, things like that, come later because you're going to want to keep your book high. We're going to do everything to get your book rocketed. We don't need any additional help. Obviously, you want to do additional things, that's cool. But we're better off getting any additional help from you during the soft launch phase to get reviews. When we do the hard launch, let us focus on that. And your TED Talk, your speaking engagements, and everything like that, let that come later. They do not need to come together. So hopefully that makes sense, John. If it doesn't, do me a favor, and I can even unmute you and we can talk kind of publicly, because I think your question is a really good question and important to be answered for everybody, because everybody is going to think, during my hard launch, I want to throw as much as I can at it. Well, believe me, 3 press releases, paid advertising on 50 websites, massive social media campaign. It's going to rocket your book up to #1 internationally in multiple categories. What we want is what's going to happen after that. We want your book to stay in the limelight, and that's where your work is going to come in. So John says it does make sense. Thanks. Okay, awesome. So looks like I answered that. But again, congratulations, my friend. Very, very cool. Do me a favor. When that TED Talk is done, post it in our Facebook group. So, we can comment on it. We can get the other members of BSP and BSP University to go and watch it and maybe make a comment, drive more traffic to the YouTube link of it, et cetera, and help you there. Obviously, we've had a bunch of clients do TED Talks and TEDx Talks. So, we're proud of you and want to share in this moment. So really cool. Congratulations. Jackie's asking, what is the date of the LAX conference? The date, Jackie, is March 10th and 11th. Let me just go back and double check because Rebecca sent me that email. So let me check. March 10th and 11th, which is a Friday and a Saturday. It's going to be at the Westin LAX. Again, an email will go out to everybody, and we'll even start making telephone calls because we do need, we sell seats to this. You guys get seats for free, but we need to know if you're coming or not. And we need, a reservation, an RSVP from you. So again, email will go out, telephone calls will go out, but it's March 10th and 11th, Friday and Saturday. Lori's asking, I'm wondering about the technical aspects of creating the video. Would you just use the webcam on your computer? Is there a tutorial that shows you how? So I would totally use YouTube for to do some searches on tutorials, because YouTube is like awesome at tutorials on how to create video and that kind of thing. I use a couple of things really simply for my videos, Lori. So you can probably see in the background right over here. So we have like all of our stuff. That's my barn door, which goes to the other side of the office. All of our stuff, I spent probably $300 on this, plus maybe $1,000 on the camera and lens. We have a green screen that we set up, but most of my video is done right with my bookshelves right there, or, against my A or something like that. So that's for our more professional video. A lot of the video, I'm just using my YouTube, my Apple, iPhone, which does fantastic. There's even something called an iographer. It's iographer, G-R-A-P-H-E-R, iographer. And it's a cool setup if you have an iPad or an iPhone, where you literally plug your iPad or iPhone into this setup that's like a camera setup that has a boom mic, has a light on it, and it makes for a really professional video. The iographer, I think, cost a few $100 to do that. So we have several iographers that we use also. So really, I mean, that's all that you need. I've done, you guys probably, if you've gone to the BSP University page, bspuniversity.com, there's a video shot there. It was just done with my iPhone, literally sitting at my desk with like my notes here. Sometimes the best videos are just the raw ones that people go, okay, he's not trying to be too slick. And, it's like the real deal. This is the real person that's talking about and making mistakes and flubbing their speech and not reading off of a teleprompter and all that stuff. So look at YouTube, but check out iographer. You can check out I think it's called a DLSR camera, or even just, good old iPhone is great as well. So good questions. So Jackie, you're asking this privately. Do you want me to just answer this privately, or do you want me to answer this publicly about consultation? So, let me know. I'm happy to answer it publicly if you like, but I don't want to do it. It says privately. Sometimes when it says privately, I know you don't mean for it to be private. You're just sending the message to me. Jackie says, love how we would do a TED Talk. So go to TED.com or TEDx.com, and you'll see a way to apply for TED Talks. You'll see where all the local TED Talks are in various areas. And there is a simple application process. You either have to go through the application process or you have to know somebody. That's how I know. Now, John, you've actually done one, so you could speak more to that. If there's something beyond that, then I can totally unmute you. And we can talk about it a little bit to share that knowledge with everybody. But really, it's application. You go on the website to do that, or you really have to know somebody in that field. Let me go back here. Okay, public is fine, Jackie was saying. So Jackie was asking, Jackie's in BSP University, like many of you are, but there are also those of you like John and others that are done-for-you clients. That paid us to do everything for them. So Jackie was asking specifically, is there any way we can have a 1-hour consultation to set up time frames, specifics, needed for your kind of individual journey? Generally speaking, we don't do that for BSP University. And the reason we don't is because it's grown now so large that I don't have the staff to handle setting up those one-on-one calls while we're also taking care of clients that pay us $13,000 to $25,000 for, where we're doing all of that. That's why we were able to make BSP University so inexpensive, because we're doing it in a group fashion. It's me and dozens of you, and you're getting me to answer your questions and dive deep. But when it comes to the personal one-on-one, we only have capacity to work with so many clients a month. And at this point, we're basically taking 12 to 15 new clients a month that are done for you clients, meaning we're writing the book, or if the book is written, we're actually doing the full book launch and doing all the PR with my PR team, Alana and Austin. So, Jackie, I mean, the best thing we can do is use this time as good as possible to kind of answer those questions and help. The only time we do a consultation with maybe David, who's one of our author coaches, if somebody is just not sure if they want to be in BSP University or they want to, actually have us do everything for them. So what we would do in a situation like that is we would have a consultation. It would be kind of a deep dive. Obviously, we would talk about, payment and plans and all of that kind of stuff. And we would try to help in that time frame, but the time frame is not so much about, the consultation to, plan out the next year. It's more about how we can maybe or maybe not help with accelerating things for you. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not good at saying no, so forgive me. It's such a large group now, BSP University, that we just can't do that. I hope you understand. So let's see. A lot of good comments here. Rob, makes sense. Awesome. Thanks. We'll give you guys a link when the TED Talk goes live. Love that, John. Please do put it in the Facebook BSP back office, the Facebook page, private Facebook page. Let's see. Awesome. Congrats. That's huge. Love to hear more about the experience. Jackie's saying to John, I think you guys probably have seen these. Sorry, I'm just a little bit behind on the messages and questions. Thank you. This is very helpful. Public's fine. Okay. John says, I applied to speak at TED through one of their local TEDx branches. That is easier than TED. So there you go. Yeah, it's TEDx. Again, you'll see all the local branches of TEDx. There's at least dozens, maybe 100 or more that do, regular speaking engagements. Again, there is still an application process. And as John said, he applied. Speaking at a local TEDx event is easier than a national TED. So my suggestion would be to do a search for local TEDx events and each have separate application criteria. Plus they have a very separate, kind of content. So I've never applied to one. I want to. It's definitely a goal that I have. So I guess I should make application if it's a goal. I haven't done that. But, there are different, forms of content that they're looking for. Mine would be probably more on creating authority, celebrity, credibility, marketing, things of that nature. Your topic and expertise is going to be, specific to a certain TED Talk. But you'll see when you look up the local TEDx events, you'll see they'll tell you what the topic is, and they're looking for speakers on that particular topic that are experts on it. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Really good questions though. And John, thanks for sharing that. Probably just TEDx.com, right? Let me just go off here and let me just type that in, TEDx.com. And I can go ahead and throw that link in for everybody. Yep. TEDx.com is where you go. And then there's links to nominate a speaker, apply to be a fellow, recommend an animator, all kinds of things. So I'm just going to put the link in there to everybody. That's the link, TED.com / well, it's a lot, but all I did was type in TEDx.com and it forwarded me to that. So there you go. So good questions, good content, doing a TED Talk or a TEDx talk, very, very cool. Something that we should all aspire to, especially if we're in business or coaching or consulting of some kind. Great credibility for stuff like that. What else can I answer for you? What other questions do you have? You have me, for the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. So I want to give you as much valuable content as possible and answer your questions. Just to kind of go back through for those of you that just joined, I went through the entire BSP University back office so you can see what changes we've made. One of the big changes that we made is we included a table of contents, and we've indexed every single video, showing on those videos what topics we talk about at what time. So you can literally skip the stuff you're not interested in and go right to that timestamp where you're interested in something. We've had a lot of people ask those questions, so now we've laid it all out for you. And then I've answered a couple of questions on YouTube, as well as on speaking engagements and on big TED type events in conjunction with book launches. So Alice asking another question: when is the best time to do a launch? So I'm going to answer this in a silly way, but a true way. I mean, I always tell my clients the best time to write a book, or the best time to launch your book, is 10 years ago, and the second best time is today. So the faster you can get your book done and the faster you can launch your book, the better. The only times we launch books every single week for our clients, the only times we don't launch books are on major holidays. So we're not launching a book if it falls on a Christmas or a New Year's or something like that. But we'll launch the week before, we'll launch the week after. We really want you to get your book launched as soon as possible. There is not a bad time to launch a book. There's only a good time, and that is today. So just get it done and get it launched as quickly as possible. Dixie saying, very helpful. Appreciate your info listening today. Awesome, Dixie. Glad to have you on the call. I know we've emailed back and forth. And so now, this is where we are every Tuesday at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. Most of the time it's me. Sometimes it's one of the other members of my staff that has a specialty that they're going to be talking about. Jackie's asking, is there anybody on the group chat that lives in Orange County? Good question. And we had on the Facebook group previously, there were some questions about, is anybody interested in setting up like accountability relationships and things like that? I think that's a fantastic thing to do. I know, Jackie, you were one that was interested in that. So if anybody wants accountability, or anybody is in Orange County, connect with Jackie and just do it on this. You can do it in Facebook, or you can do it right here on this chat right now, which is totally great for me. Malika is saying, or is it Malika? I see looks like a different spelling there. Malika is asking about workbooks and journals. So tell me what your specific question is. I think workbooks and journals are great. I think they're great as accompaniments to your main book. And they sell terrific. Again, accompanying your main content. As a standalone, not necessarily, not necessarily good or bad. It just depends on what it is that you want to do. So Malika's saying, what are your thoughts on publishing ebooks through CreateSpace related to the topic to get your name out while you work on the book? Not sure that I totally understand. Publishing ebooks through CreateSpace. So publishing books while you work on your book. I don't know that I understand. Are you talking about like just publishing like very, very short content pieces? If you like, I can unmute you and we can have a conversation about it, because the question is a little bit vague for me. So why don't I unmute you, Malika? Malika, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I gotcha. Did I say it right, Malika?
It is Malika.
Beautiful. Thank you. So go ahead, please ask the question again, and I'll do my best to answer it as intelligently as I can.
Oh, thanks. So I was actually asking, and I think you started answering it. My questions came between another comment. I was asking if it made sense to do like journals, small content pieces, so that you would have additional pieces of work in Amazon while I work on the main book. So yes, there would be short, condensed, so my area is in mindset, and I've created a methodology called the Momentology methodology. So it's something that I'm trying to get that name out there. And so I was wondering about using workbooks and journaling similar to the gratitude journals and the success mindset journals, that sort of thing.
Well, totally get it now. Thank you for clarifying it. So let me tell you what my concern is, and why we generally don't recommend that. The big concern is, let's say that you put out, 3 kind of shortish ebooks, slash journals, and I don't know what short is to you, but to me, 30, 40 pages, something like that. And you didn't do anything to really promote it. You just, published it and put it out there. Then what's going to happen is, yes, people, may do a search for that particular content and find you, but they're not going to find the best presentation of you. So if they go on your book, they're going to see something that, if you haven't promoted it, then more than likely it has no reviews. It has no real sales. It's not like the best, you putting your best foot forward with them. So you have this opportunity to get in front of someone that did a search, but you're not getting in front of them as your best self, if you know what I mean. Now, if you're willing to put out longer content, if it's a full book, 80, 90, 100 pages at least and more, and you're willing to launch that and really put some time into getting 4 and 5 star reviews and getting some traction for that, and having a cover and a title that's just beautiful and rock solid, then I say do it. The more the better. But I would not do that, unless you were really doing it the right way. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. So it even sounds like maybe the book would come first and the additional things would be afterwards, so that it's kind of using the book as a foundation.
Exactly. I want you to put your best foot forward. I want when people find your book and find you to go, wow, this is a popular book. This is a beautifully done book. This is a successful book. And now you're making a positive impact on that person. Of course, they may buy it, they may not buy it, but either way, they're positively impacted, and they may go search for more information on you. If they just find content of yours that isn't great or doesn't show well, then, you're making the wrong impression. And we would rather have less people be positively impressed than more people be negatively impressed, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great question, though. Thank you for asking that. Beautiful. All right, so let's go back to the questions here. Looks like there's a couple more. Jackie's saying, Rob, could we have John speak to the group once he's set up? Obviously can't do that now. To talk us through his TEDx experience and his journey, unexpected twists and turns, anything would have done differently earlier, and open for more questions. You know what? I would love that. I have the next few weeks booked, but if John is open to that, then I would love that. I think that is a fantastic idea. John says he's game. Beautiful, John. Do me a favor. Shoot me an email, rob@bestsellerpublishing.org. Yeah, I'm sure you got my email address, with links to your website, links to some of your content. Obviously, the TED Talk isn't up yet, but when that's up, and then I can make a note to myself and Rebecca to follow up with you and get that scheduled, because I think that's a great idea, Jackie. I would love to do that as well and have John on, and John's game to do it. So fantastic. Let's do it. Just shoot me an email, John. It's Rob. I'll just put it in the chat box for everybody. bestsellerpublishing.org. Shoot me an email there. Whoops, I just sent it to you, Malika, privately. Did not mean to do that. I meant to make it public. So let me send it to everybody. So there's my email address. So John, just shoot me an email. Maybe shoot me an email what Tuesday would be best for you. It's going to have to be about a month out or after, which I think is probably better anyway, because by then your TED Talk's going to be posted and we'll already have some traction. So shoot me some dates that would be good for you, and I'll go ahead and get it scheduled. Great, great idea. Beautiful. So looks like Malika, Lori's giving you some different thoughts on buying the Momentology domain name. Looks like Lori might have already looked it up to see that it was still available. Hopefully Lori did not buy it and now she's offering to sell it to you. Actually, I may go do that myself. Kidding. That's just the capitalist in me. I think that's great. Seriously, you have a great name. It doesn't cost much to nail the domain. So you should get the .com, .net, .org. Won't cost you much to do that. And then just sit on it. Like Lori's saying, just park it until you're ready to develop your website. Thanks for the comments there, Lori. That's great stuff. Great idea. And thanks for going and checking that. That's very cool. Lori says, I love the collaboration of this group. You're the one that's collaborating. You're doing awesome. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, seriously, for that. And Jackie says, same. Thank you, Rob and all. Yeah, I love the idea of having John on. Next week is going to be, so that you know, and let me just double check to make sure. Next week is going to be Shirley. Shirley is one of our done-for-you clients who has been booked all over the country to speak on her topic. Trying to see if I have her book prominently displayed. Her book is, I've done hundreds of these, so forgive me if I don't remember the exact title, but basically it's like Healthy, Lean, and Sexy, and it's about being healthy, lean, and sexy, after 50. And it has done fabulously well, and she's got booked on TV, radio, all over the country. So she's going to talk a little bit about her experience in doing that, what that's been like, how that's worked, how she's done it. We've done some of it for her. She's done some of it on her own, which I think will provide inspiration for you guys. So that's next week. The week after that is one of our clients, Dr. Amir Baluk. Amir is a anesthesiologist, but in his spare time, which who knows if that's like 10 hours a week or whatever, he actually raises money from other physicians, and he buys and flips real estate for physicians. And we did a book for him about his experience as a doctor, and how as a doctor, doctors are not taught really how to take their money and invest for the long haul and grow their wealth. They're only taught how to help people and make a whole lot of money, which they end up in this endless cycle of making, spending, and killing themselves. So what he does is he raises money from doctors, and he provides a return on investment and also builds their real estate portfolio. So what he's going to share in 2 weeks, which is really cool, is he's used his book to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars from doctors. He's used the credibility and his best-selling book to get people to write him, single checks for $100,000 and give it to him, because he is the expert in the niche now that he's a best-selling author. So he's going to share how he's done that. Again, it may not directly relate to what you're doing. I try to give kind of a broad spectrum, but I want you to take the ideas and the thoughts, whether it's Shirley or whether it's John on the TED Talk or whether it's Amir, and apply that, make that applicable to your business, to your book, and to the things you want to accomplish with your life, because there are ways to tweak it. Maybe you don't want someone to give you a $100,000 check for you to invest, but maybe you want someone to give you a really big check, and that takes a serious amount of trust and people to really believe that you're the expert on the topic. So anyway, that's the next couple of weeks that we have outlined for you. And then I'll do a training, and then we'll try to have John on if his schedule allows. So been going a good long time. I'm, of course, recording this. We'll put it in the back office in case any of you came in late and you missed the whole beginning part where I go through the changes to BSP University back office. Any other questions? I don't see any at the moment. So if there aren't any, then we're going to go ahead and call it. If there are, then I will stay on and answer them for you. So let me give you another moment or two to ask a question. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and say adieu. It looks like a few of you are jumping off. So my assumption is that we are kind of done with questions. So great day again. Like you, I love the collaboration of this group. Thank you for diving in, helping each other. Thank you for your willingness to share your experiences and help each other to be successful. So you guys are fantastic. Love that I can help in any small way for you guys to be successful, and look forward to talking to you next Tuesday at noon Pacific. Have a great day. Bye.